Hey friends, David Miller, Phoenix, Arizona multimedia artist, photographer, educator. I want to talk to you today about a little tool that I got last year, and I've made some really cool work, at least I think it's really cool with it, and it is their light brush. So this one is a little fiber optic attachment that you will utilize for light painting effects. Light painting is something that you see people do it with lighters, fireworks, flashlights. They draw shapes and words in the air. And I've been doing that technique since maybe like 1999. I had a professor of photography at my community college. His name was Lauren Mears, and he would take students to national parks and monuments and using a bunch of flashlights, illuminate the landscape at nighttime, do slow exposure in his camera, maybe like 10-15 seconds worth of time passed, and just captured kind of surrealistic versions of these landscapes. And a lot of people have done it to have like superhero effects, energy effects. It's a really cool technique, but I wanted to refine my light painting technique a little bit, and so I looked into these light brushes. This one is clear from top to bottom, but they have ones on their site that are black and only have the tips showcasing the light. You use this little attachment, you screw on your fiber optic whip looking thing, and then the fat end can go onto a variety of flashlights, and you just jam the flashlight up in the hole, light up your whip, brush over your subject as your camera is on a tripod in whatever slow exposure mode works best for you. But the cool thing about the attachment is you don't actually need to get the flashlight that comes from lightbrushes.com. You can use anything that's a smaller flashlight, so something I picked up at Home Depot also fits. The important parts of this equation that you can get only through their website are the whip and the attachment. Without the attachment, if you lose this, as I have in the past, you can certainly jury rig an attachment with like a bunch of duct tape or something, but the less professional you look, the less professional the results will be in the end. So when I've done my light brush work, I usually have to find a studio that's completely enclosed, no windows, no other light sources. Light bleed is one of the biggest issues I've had when I've tried to do light painting. If you're doing this outdoors, you're kind of looking for like an area without any street lights, no full moon, certainly. If you can do it on the time of the month that has the new moon where it's not in the sky, that's best. It is an experimental technique. This is just one of those things, man, where you're gonna have to take dozens of photos and cherry pick out the best results. A lot of things can go wrong. Maybe the model moved in the wrong way. Maybe you were a little slow with your technique. Maybe you were too quick with your technique. Maybe the light didn't quite translate through the brushes exactly as it should, and there's sections missing on a photograph. Because it is a brush, I find it's a very expressive kind of light painting versus if we were just to go out with flashlights and do shapes and swirls or illuminate sections of a person this way. This is elegance. This reminds me a little bit of oil painting. I would be very curious to see what other photographers who have maybe like a more commercial interest or a more precise kind of way of expressing themselves than I do. I would be interested to see what they come up with when using light brushes. So if you have experimented with light brushes, whether it's the one that's fully clear, the one that's all black, or other forms of light painting, send me a link to your work in the notes. But I thought this was a fun tool. I've used it off and on over the last year. Shared a lot of work with you that I've done with it. and curious to see what other people come up with when using the same tools. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.